Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
Yeah, Ted, dear friend of mine, of so many in Winnipeg and Manitoba, born in Brandon, Westman guy, has connections in Saskatchewan as well. It is wild how, the courageous battle he had went the way it did. He was so hopeful. We were all so hopeful when, the diagnosis came about in the spring, and it just seemed like he had no fortune in every step of the way through the season. It was even a week ago where, his colleague and good friend of ours, Paul Friesen of the Winnipeg Sun, like a week ago, we went and saw Ted, and Ted's still talking about when he's coming back, not if, when he's coming back. And then pretty quickly, things turned on him, but he passed away Saturday morning. And it's almost like he was shining down on his hometown Winnipeg, because it was a truly super sports Saturday in Winnipeg. You had the Jets capture their NHL record-breaking 14th win in their 15th game of the season. And then later that night, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers winning the West Final in very convincing fashion, getting to a fifth straight Grey Cup game. The outpouring of love for him, so deserved. I know people who were closer to Ted than I was, but, I spent a lot of time with him at work, at play, and then to be at a Grey Cup where he really embodied who he was at Grey Cup week, working hard, playing harder, and just being in the fabric of Canadian sports. We're honoring Ted with this patch. I actually, the morning he passed away, I designed that up quickly. I thought that was a little bit more Ted style than just like a traditional TW block letters, that you'll see initials honored, for fallen friends. But yeah, he's the topic of conversation in such a respectful and heartfelt way. Every corner you turn here in the Grey Cup City just shows the type of person he was and the impact that he made. 30 years as a sports reporter and editor of the Winnipeg Sun.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
I'm in a bit of a coffee conundrum, everybody. And Darren's a coffee aficionado. Dunkin' Donuts will give you the biggest coffee for $3.28, and you don't got to tip anybody. But then you go to Brooklyn Water Bagel, where it's refillable, but I don't really sit in one place long enough to sit and refill all the coffees. It's like $3.40, but then there's the tip prompt. And if you don't tip them, you look like a jerk.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hi, everybody. Yes, it is. Thank you, Rick Regan. And hello, Canada and 31 U.S. states. Welcome to the 111th Grey Cup in Vancouver, British Columbia. I'm your affable host, Rod Pedersen. He's the co-host, Kevin the Medium. Ooh. Host of the Hughes Sports Podcast, lifelong BC Lions fan. How you doing, Kev?
You know what? I am doing amazing. What an amazing night we had last night, and looking forward to the rest of the week.
I got to tell you, okay, Game Plus Television is live at the Grey Cup. That's exciting. As well as WQEE Radio in Atlanta. This is episode number 1377 of the RP Show, and we're streaming on YouTube as well. As I was walking out of Amerit Bank Arena on the weekend in Sunrise, Florida, Serena was with me. There's a parking lot attendant, and he goes, "See you Tuesday." I see him all the time. I said, "No, you won't. I'm going to the Grey Cup." He goes, "The what?"
The who?
He's from Rhode Island. So for the U.S. viewers that don't know, it's the Canadian Football League Championship. It's Canada's Super Bowl is what I tell a lot of people. And we're broadcasting live, as you can see over Kevin's shoulder, from Radio Row, the McLaren Custom Grills Radio Row, the only officially licensed CFL barbecue grills. You'll be sick of them by the end of the week, trust me. The McLaren Custom Grills Radio Row. And when I say it's Canada's Super Bowl, we'll get to the teams that are actually competing in this CFL championship on Sunday at beautiful BC Place Stadium. But I've been to the last couple of Super Bowls, and I'm going to tell you, Kev, this is exactly what Super Bowl was like in Las Vegas last year, which is pretty exciting.
As soon as we walked into this hall, the East Convention Center, you said somebody's been to the Super Bowl and they brought it here. It's perfect. It's great. Just walking through, you can feel the electricity in the building.
Well, so a few things. Well, I had heard that the BC Lions people on the host Grey Cup committee had gone to Las Vegas to the Super Bowl last year and were taking down ideas. I'm telling you, folks, there's still time for you to get down here. And for anybody all across British Columbia, you got time to come and check out the Grey Cup festivities, even go to the game across the country. It's going to be exciting in the 60,000-seat BC Place on Sunday, Toronto versus Winnipeg. But if you want to feel like you're at Super Bowl, this will do it. So bravo. And that reminds me, on the program today, we have the president of the BC Lions, Dwayne Vinot, going to be dropping by. I'm hoping to have Canadian Football League Players Association President Solomon Elamimian come by. We were communicating back and forth, me and his people. I think Saul might be here. He might not. A lot of BC Lions people will be on the program today, and in a second I'll get to why. Friday's the big kahuna, however. CFL on TSN's Jim Barker will be joining us live at our broadcast location right here at the table. Sportsnet's Arash Madani, Grey Cup chair Riley Wuchar, who's been on this program before. He'll be here live. Tomorrow's the big one. Today's big, too, but it's just largely you and me. So for our viewers that love the CFL talk, this is for you. Get your questions out. Get your comments, Kev. And you're originally from Vancouver.
I grew up East Vancouver, blocks away from the old Empire Stadium. I can remember being a kid. We used to have to get Old Dutch potato chip bags, and you could get into the game with 3 Old Dutch potato chip bags, sit on the grass underneath the old scoreboard. I'm sure you're old enough to remember it.
Yes, of course.
Beautiful.
So to the viewers, just hang on. I can't. Let's just say it the way it is. Scott in Vancouver writes in and he says, are they doing construction right behind you? It sounds like fans or tools in the. Don't worry about that. Worry about us. So can you concentrate for 2 hours? So here's the thing. Yeah, maybe it's you, Remo. Winnipeg Sports Talk setting up right next door. Here's the thing. There's a lot of people. I saw the workers, the volunteers. They're all coming in on Monday, Tuesday. I don't need to get here too early. We're on the air Thursday, and they're setting up like it is the first day of school. You know what I mean? We have this CKNW, News, Talk, Sports, right next door. They're setting up. We got Winnipeg Sports Talk over here. We have a bunch of other shows that we won't even name because they hit our signs when we showed up.
That was too funny.
Tell them about. So, Grey Cup's just getting going. So, despite all the pictures and the hype and everything, it's just getting going. We're the only show on the air right now because it's 9 a.m. We normally go to air at noon Eastern, which it still is noon Eastern, but it's morning out here. And there's people still hungover from the media party last night. I know because they told me. You and I left early. But tell them, Kevin, the medium, what happened when we showed up here yesterday. We're trying to find our booth here on Radio Row at McLaren Custom Grills Radio Row.
There's, 8 tables set up. There's posters like this behind us at each table. We didn't have one. There was no Rod Pedersen show. There was one empty one. I'm like, well, that must be ours. We don't get a sign. But Mr. Matt Sakaris had decided to put his signs in front of the Rod Pedersen show signs, trying to be funny.
From Sakaris and Price, yeah.
Trying to be funny.
Guys, can you do me, Hustler and Remo, can you come over here and just jump on the shot? Your fans have infected our viewership. So Aaron Von Baum writes in and he says, Remo and Hustler, can you just jump around behind us and let me get a selfie? Remo and Hustler are right next door. There we were. There they are right here. Okay, guys.
Some RP Nation.
Yeah, say something funny. There you go, guys.
Yeah, be funny.
Lean
Be
in,
funny.
Kev. Lean in, Kev. There. Winnipeg Sports Talk on the air at 1 Central.
Yeah, right when you're done, head on over to Winnipeg Sports Talk and always bet on blue.
There you, the Argos are blue, just so you know. Yeah, oh, you going to get the Winnipeggers riled up and going?
I got to get the Winnipeggers riled up. You know, it's that whole dynasty comments. It just gets my blood going.
Winnipeg Chaster writes and he says, WST invasion. Long live WST. What? Remo says, I know that guy. John Ohm, which I didn't bring my gong. Just trust me when I say Ohm. He says,
How about
Kevin,
that?
I'm surprised you're not wearing a BC Lions jersey.
Bingo!
I only brought one jersey. And
Yeah, you have it here, right?
I have it here somewhere. It wouldn't fit me. It's probably, I don't know, I'm going to say 30 years old. It's a medium. I'm well outside a medium.
Show the people.
Show the people. It is.
Lil Pasanglia.
That's the only one I brought with me. And for a special reason, hopefully Mr. Pasaglia is cruising around here at some time in the next couple days so I can get his signature on it.
At one time, the leading scorer in Canadian Football League history, but I believe he was surpassed by Paul Osbaldiston some years later. I'm using my CFL voice, Remo. What do you think? It sounds professional. Maybe I'll keep it. Bill Edwards writes and he says, Argos double blue all the way. It's funny. Two things. We went to the media party last night, and I'll be honest with you, I hadn't been to it in a couple of years, but judging by the amount of people that were there, this is the media that covers the CFL, you wouldn't think there was a media problem in Western Canada or Canada at all because the room was busting at the seams.
It was.
Right?
Yes.
And Farhan Lalji hosted it along with TSN's David Naylor. And they said, Farhan was on the mic, he welcomed everybody, and he said, 2 rules here. 1, this is a hockey-free zone. No hockey talk tonight. That's not to say for the rest of the week, but not at the media party last night. And what was the other rule? Do you remember?
No drinking and driving.
Well, was it? Well, we didn't
That was rule number 1.
We didn't have to worry about that. Janice writes in, she says, kickers rule the CFL.
Yes.
Says who? You saw one last night, Richie Leone, the punter.
I did.
Probably the best shape of any kicker punter in the Canadian Football League. That's another thing, by the way. CFL fans unite. That's what we're doing here today because tomorrow is going to be a lot of interviews. Here it's with the fans, the viewers, the listeners. But also, a lot of guys aren't up yet. Richie Leone was doing a hospital visit this morning with the Canadian Football League Players Association. You were standing right beside me. I'm like, Richie, come on down. He's from Alabama, and he's a free agent punter now. And he goes, I'm doing a school visit in the morning. I mean, that's why we love these CFL players. He goes, I would love to be with you, but I'm at a school at 8:30 a.m. There's no way that I could get down here. It's not a convenient time, 9 a.m. Grey Cup week, just so you know.
And if you've ever driven in Vancouver to go 10 kilometers, you're looking at 45 minutes. Was
Yes.
that not the truth?
Oh, yeah, of course. I'm trying to get to as many of your comments as we can. I'm going to limit them, though. Make your comments good because I'll probably get 2 per viewer. John Ohm says, free booze at the media gathering last night? Sure. I mean, who cares? But yes, it was. And there were some people, there were some people this morning saying that they're hungover. And listen, as we were leaving last night and I was driving, almost 10 years sober, I said to Kevin, how in the world did I do this? When I was on my lips, drunk every night and trying to cover this damn thing.
I couldn't imagine
It's a lot
how
of
you
work.
survived.
Oh, yeah. Well, Terry the lawyer writes in and he says, welcome back to Western Canada, RP. You're missed in Calgary. Thank you, Terry. Now, what I will say, after spending a half a century mostly in Saskatchewan, I feel coming to Canada, and specifically Western Canada, is coming home. I don't care if it's Vancouver, BC, Manitoba, Sask. I don't care. Coming home.
Oh.
Feels amazing.
When we sat having breakfast overlooking the water, the West Shore there, it was just gorgeous. I mean, how can you not love this place?
I love it. I wouldn't care to live here, and neither do you.
No.
Too many people, the weather's crappy, but that's just me. Arlen Bruce has checked in. AB3 says, great morning, RP and the medium.
And the medium.
How about playing some loonies and toonies on air? Even the instrumental will work. He's for the awards tonight. Can we get it back on point? Trying. Thank you, AB. Arlen Bruce is the voice of reason. You know things are out the window when Arlen Bruce is the voice of reason. And he says, Coach of the Year tonight will be Corey Mace. Most outstanding player, Bo Levi Mitchell. And the Grey Cup champions, we will see Sunday. He's not making a prediction.
Isn't that interesting? Because we talked about that over breakfast, and nine years ago, it was Ricky Ray, who didn't make the playoffs, was nominated for most outstanding player.
But didn't win it?
I can't remember who won it. Now we have Bo, again, not making the playoffs. and nominated for the East Outstanding Player.
I got to say this. Shout out South Florida. Joshua Dorr has checked in. Hey, Josh, big Panthers fan. He's not my neighbor, but he's a big follower of the Cats and Bolts podcast of the South Florida Tribune. Hey, Josh, you checked in a little late, just so you know. We're at Canada's Super Bowl. I hope Canadians aren't offended. Remo, that's not offensive, is it? No, not at all. Canada's Super Bowl. That's where we're at, the Grey Cup. And we'll be here Thursday, Friday. I'm coming home on the weekend. Aaron Von Baum writes in. This is fun, huh?
This is
fun.
I love the name.
Aaron Von Baum. Is he a regular of yours, Remo? No? He says, hey, Rod, are you going to take the zip line? Last night? No. No. Mike Whittingham looks.
There's a smaller one. There's a smaller version.
How about no? Listen, we were walking into a tavern last night. A baby just for me? Kids version? Mahoney's Tavern, just across the water here. And by the way, the sights, the feels, my God, it's beautiful. And Kevin and I were walking in, and people were going down the zip line. And what you said something about you going on it or me going. Yeah, you said you wanted to go on it, and I said have fun.
Yes, and I was like, no, this is something we need to do together. It would be a bonding experience, Rod.
And I said, what do you think this is, Super Dave Osborne? I'm too old. I'm not doing that stuff. Late night with Smitty checking in from Steinbach, Manitoba. He says, thanks for covering the Grey Cup. Well, here's the thing. When my bosses at the RP show, primarily Joe 747 Gunnis, said, we need you to be at the Grey Cup. We feel the RP show needs to be at the Grey Cup. I was pretty dang excited. And Joshua knows, and anybody that watches this show every day, I've worked so hard to get into America and move there and get a green card. I'm not in a real rush to leave ever. The area code, period. But to come to the Grey Cup, that's different. So it's not doing anything noble here. I'm the one that wins as far as I'm concerned.
And you know what? It's the Rod Pedersen show, obviously. I'm a fan of the show. And for you to bring me on at the Grey Cup, this is going to be a memory I'm going to keep well into my senior years. Don't say it.
Joshua Dorr in South Florida says, where is the Grey Cup? It is in Vancouver, British Columbia. The city that David Letterman feels is the most beautiful city on the planet. And to be honest, Kevin and I were sitting in the lobby of the Pan Pacific Hotel this morning having a coffee, and I said, I can't believe how beautiful it is here. And I don't take anything for granted anymore. It is a beautiful city. Follow my social media, Joshua, The Rod Pedersen Show, and me personally for photos and so forth. Where the hell is it?
Chat's on fire.
The chat
today.
is on fire. The CFL fans have come to partay.
Yeah.
Scott says, where's Randy Ambrosi? We're going to talk about the commissioner probably after this upcoming break because we are looking for a new commissioner in the Canadian Football League. Tony from George Fox country, that's Cochrane, Alberta, writes in. He says, are those Grey Cup rings you're wearing? Yes, they are. I only bring them out at Grey Cup, largely. 2007 Saskatchewan Roughriders, Canada's team. 2013 Saskatchewan Roughriders. And people love them. They love them.
Why do like every hair in my back of my neck stand up when you say Canada's team?
Not in a good way.
Not in a good way.
Just to make that clear.
Not in a good way.
This isn't a goosebumps
No,
scenario.
no goosebumps.
Canada's team.
Ugh.
James Mooner Warnicki writes in. He says, morning, Rod Squad. Everybody get settled, get comfortable, fill up your coffee. We're going to take a time out. On the way today, just a quick little thing. This is, I should add them up and get real about this because it's serious. It's my 22nd, 23rd Grey Cup. I'm not sure. It's Kevin's second. I've learned a thing or two over the years. And one is the host team, if you're not in it, you're as useless as tits on a board. So I said to the Lions people, why don't you send your people down to my show? You're not doing anything. And they said, we'll do it. So I said, let me know who you're going to send out. How about our president, Dwayne Vinno? Yeah, I'll bring it. Yeah, sure. Matt Baker from BCLions.com is going to be on the program. Julio Caravata, if he gets here on time. He is the longtime, not only color commentator, but Grey Cup winning quarterback and punter with the BC Lions. Other people are available, that's the point, because they're not in it. I know what it's like. Been there. You know, I've been there.
What record does Caravetta hold in the CFL?
What
record?
Scott Morganroth throwing questions at me I would have no idea of knowing just to make me look bad?
No, because nobody knows this.
Well, then why would you ask?
Because it's a cool, one of those stats that has stuck in my head. He's the only field goal kicker to be 100%. He's never missed a field goal. Kicked 3 for 3.
And he talked about that on your show.
He
That's
did.
right. Yeah. That's why they have a minimum for these records all time, just so you know. We're going to take a time. Oh, we're over time. We're live from the 111th Grey Cup. Does it not look like our Super Bowl set and broadcast when we were in Las Vegas? Because it's identical, the setup. So bravo to Riley Wuchar, the Grey Cup committee, Amar Doman, the owner of the Lions. They have replicated a Super Bowl feel and look and event, and I couldn't be more happy to be here. We'll be right back on Game Plus Television, WQEE Radio, live streaming on YouTube, and, of course, Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Sounds like he knows what he's doing a little bit. As long as you're entertained. Aren't you entertained?
We're all capable of doing more. More speed, more reps, more commitment to getting every detail perfect. And that's why it's important we never miss a donation appointment. Blood and plasma donors are needed every day in Canada to support thousands of patients that rely on Canada's lifeline. We're asking you to join the Hockey Gives Blood Partners for Life team. Join today by downloading the Give Blood app or book online at blood.ca/HGB.
Did you know that you can help save a life? And you can start right now.
Stem cells from male donors increase chances of positive outcomes for patients, yet they only make up 40% of our registry.
Today, there are hundreds of people in Canada searching for their life-saving match.
You can be a patient's best hope. Be a hero by registering with Canadian Blood Services Stem Cell Registry now.
The 80s Club, live in Moose Jaw. Honeymoon Suite, along with a flock of seagulls. Men without hats. And spoons. All together for one night at Moose Jaw Event Center, Saturday, November 16th. Tickets on sale now at sastix.ca or the Moose Jaw Event Center box office.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Hey, honey, can you get one of the kids to show me how this Twitter thing works? Honey, I need to get on Instagram. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
That's right. Thank you, Rick Regan. And we are live from the 111th Grey Cup in Vancouver and the Grey Cup Festival. Kevin the Medium riding shotgun with me. And the doors open at 10 a.m. Pacific. It's currently 9:22 a.m. Pacific, and everybody's just running around setting up. Hour one is brought to you by Culligan. Drink clean, live green. Filter your water for a healthier tomorrow. Culligan Water of Regina. Visit CulliganRegina.com. We've got so many things to get to. Kev, there are other sports going on. You know, we go to the Grey Cup and you just get so in a vacuum you forget. Week 11 in the NFL kicks off tonight with a matchup between playoff contenders. The 7-3 Washington Commanders visit the 7-2 Philadelphia Eagles. If we have time next hour, we'll talk about the National Hockey League. I don't feel like we have time right now. How are your? He's a Canucks fan because he's from here. How are they doing?
They're doing good. I mean, they're not burning it up like the Winnipeg Jets, but they're winning more than they're losing. So I guess being a long-suffering Canuck fan, you can't complain.
We are on national television, so I should mention John Tavares scored with 47 seconds left in overtime, and the visiting Toronto Maple Leafs edged the Washington Capitals 4-3 Wednesday. Nick Bjugstad, there's Clark, the Leafs fan, chiming in. Nick Bjugstad scored his first 2 goals of the NHL season, and the Utah Hockey Club knocked off the visiting Carolina Hurricanes 4-1 on Wednesday. That's right, Utah knocked off Carolina 4-1. I was reading on the flight up here Doug McLean's book, Draft Day, and he says, watch out for the Utah hockey team and Bill Armstrong, their general manager. They'll be good, and it wasn't going to happen overnight. That from Doug McLean, wonderful book from Penguin, whatever the hell the publishing company is. What is it, Clark? Penguin House? Random House? Penguin Books?
Bingo!
Doug McLean, Draft Day. 902-518-3033. Jim in Balgoni writes in, and he says, thanks for covering Grey Cup for those who can't get their Rod. Get Kevin out and about as the roving reporter.
Oh.
Moose was so sad yesterday that he wasn't going to be there. Enjoy every moment. Well, that's Moose. Last year, he was in Hamilton, and I was sad that I wasn't there. Listen, as we were walking around last night, it was awesome. And that was like Wednesday night. There was nothing going on. Tell folks what we saw.
Well, we went for a drive. We'll just put it that way. We won't get into details, but we went for a nice long
Bad directions from me.
It started bad directions from me, then went bad directions from you. But just the beauty of this city, and I mean, born and raised here, you kind of forget how beautiful this place is. But when you come over the Cambie Street Bridge and you see the downtown with all the lights lit up,
it's as nice as there is.
Gorgeous.
It's as nice as there is.
And then just the festival itself, when we left the convention center, went outside, and they had the cheerleaders up on the stage with a DJ rocking the music, couple hundred people in front dancing. It was cool.
They had the Lions cheerleaders down there. They had a band shell set up. There was so many people. What is that street, by the way, out here? Do you know what that street is? Cordova. There were so many people. And go to the Rod Pedersen Show Instagram or my personal Facebook, and you'll see it. There were so many people. I'm like, did they, fly these people in? Do you know what it shouldn't be this busy so early in the week.
But you got to remember, there's 5 million people in the Lower Mainland plus. So, I mean, and this is just the beginning. It's just going to get busier and busier. I'm looking forward to seeing what 10 o'clock brings when they actually open the doors here and how many people are coming in.
Yeah, I'm not. That's where you start to feel like a petting zoo.
People just
oh, look, Martha, that's the guy. Which, yesterday, security gal, and I don't know where she is.
Yeah, she was supposed to let us in this morning.
I think she's kind of like was the sense that I got. So she's sitting here as I'm setting up, as God is my witness and Kevin the medium. She's just watching me set up, which is fine. And she's like, so y'all, you got a show? And I'm like, yeah. I said, what's your cable? Where do you live? She goes, Squamish. And I said, what's your cable? She goes, tell us. I said, we're on channel 924 every day. She goes, right?
You did.
9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Pacific every single day on TELUS channel 924. And she's like, well, I'm staying in Vancouver for the weekend. I won't be able to watch it till next week. I said, well, when you get back out there every day, TELUS channel 924, 9 a.m. She goes, so you're a podcast? Regarding the zip line, Utah Darren writes, and he says, Rod, I have no need for thrill sports. I teach driver's ed, so I get all my thrills at work. LOL. That's the zip line. I won't be on it. But the president, Dwayne Vino of the BC Lions, was last night. Actually, twice. He took the Grey Cup down it, so he's going to join us later on to talk about it. Bill, the Argos fan, writes in. He says, is pinball going to be on the show? Stay tuned. Not currently scheduled.
But anything can happen.
And usually does. Trent from Norway writes in. He says, Norway here. Glad to see you both at the Grey Cup. Bombers should win as their team is more balanced than Toronto. Enjoy the West Coast. Well, we're enjoying it. And here's the thing. Have we not been following this long enough to know it's a one-game showdown and anything can happen? It ain't a 3-game series, let alone a 7-game series.
That's
one game.
That's what's so great about football is there's a saying on any given Sunday. Well, this Sunday, it's any given Sunday, and any team can win. I know the Bombers are favored. The last time I looked, they were favored by 10.5.
Yeah.
It's insane.
All because of their quarterback, right? Backup quarterback starting, I would think. For the Argos.
For the Argos, yeah. Kelly's out. But Arbuckle's not a rookie by any stretch. Arbuckle's been there, done that.
Rob in Las Vegas is watching. He says, you had to wear the 2007 Grey Cup ring. Twist the knife, RP. You've been in the last 4 Grey Cups, Rob. Don't get greedy. You got enough. Mark Amphifanusik writes in and says, how about that? I don't know specifically what he's saying. There you go. 902-513-2022. Jeff, the Stamps fan, writes in and says, Darren is to Toronto for the Grey Cup now.
Oh. How?
He's not even here to defend himself.
Poor Darren.
Darren loves the CFL. He's very upset that he's not here. And last night at the media party, I had so many people ask me where he was.
Yes.
I didn't have a chance to tell Darren that. But I said, we're like the president and the vice president. We can't travel together in the event of an accident.
Bingo!
We can't have one of us, get off.
Well, it was funny because I was chatting with Paul LaPolice, and he was asking about Darren and where Darren was. So you're missed, Darren.
You're missed, Darren. Kirk in Toronto writes in. He's watching on Game Plus television. He says, some say Winnipeg in a blowout. Don't underestimate Nick Arbuckle and the Argonaut. Here's the one thing about this role as a sports talk host that, quite frankly, I would prefer. I don't care to be down on the front lines, sticking the mic in the players' faces. I did that enough. But I'd like to see Arbuckle. I'd like to see him face-to-face. And I guess if I really cared enough, I could go out of my way to do it. But it's Grey Cup week. It doesn't need to have me bothering him. But I've known Nick a long time, and I'm a really big fan of his. Kev, you've watched a lot of Grey Cups. This would be not only one of the biggest upsets in CFL history, it'd be one of the greatest stories.
Oh, it would just be one of those stories that will be told for generations if Arbuckle and the Argos can pull it off. Because remember, it's a team. Arbuckle is just one part of it, and he's literally planned for this in the event of this is what a backup does. So now it's his time to shine. I honestly think he's going to shine, and the Smurf Mafia is probably going to go away a little upset on Sunday.
Kevin
That's
calls
my prediction.
Is that the Bomber fans or the Bomber team or both that you refer to as the Smurf Mafia?
Just the fan. It's like the Rider Nation.
Smurf Mafia.
The Smurf Mafia. And it started, probably a couple years ago. And it was on CFL Chatter, Facebook group on that I belong to. And they were just going off nonstop about this dynasty they think they have. And you don't have a dynasty unless you win the big game. Well, you've only won 2 in the last 5. So that's not a dynasty yet. You win this one, now you're 3-5. We can talk.
Scott in Vancouver writes in, he says, what is Chad Kelly's injury? Can't they just give him cortisone shots? He has a broken ankle. And clearly bad. Because Wes Cates, 2007 Grey Cup, sorry, Rob in Vegas, played on a broken foot. Broken foot, not a broken ankle. There's
broke his tibia.
Yeah, if there's a chance of him playing, they'd play. He's not.
No.
John in Edmonton says, Rod is going to fangirl over the Jonas Brothers on Sunday, LOL. Well, I didn't realize they sang Cake by the Ocean. I didn't know that was them. So I did have a Jonas Brothers song on my head the other day, and I felt like cutting it off.
You know what? I couldn't name a Jonas Brothers song.
Cake by the Ocean. You know that one.
I know that one.
Cake by the Ocean. Yeah.
But I've been told they're making a big comeback. Everybody's like, oh, is that the best CFL could do? I think they're doing it's better than last year, in my opinion. Go ahead.
So many hills that I died on and lost the war. One was that the Grey Cup halftime act always has to be Canadian. I lost that battle. I lost a lot of battle. There should be a GM of the Year trophy. There should be all these things, and they don't care what I think. That's very clear. It's why I moved to Florida. But the greatest Grey Cup halftime act ever, give me a minute. I kind of want to say 2017 Shania in the snow globe in Ottawa. Because I'm a country fan.
It was a good one.
I'm a Shania fan. I did like Nickelback here in 2011. Black Eyed Peas in 2005.
That was a good one.
And they're not Canadian. But again, I'd rather see Gordon Lightfoot at halftime if it means he's Canadian than Taylor Swift. But that's just me.
It doesn't have to be Canadian. It's entertainment. It's just entertainment. It's a halftime show. Most of the time, we have dogs running on the field chasing Frisbees for our halftime.
To me, it smacks that Canadians aren't good enough to play the most iconic Canadian sporting event of the year. Canadians aren't good enough for it. And that's the thing. And I've done so much, and I got a break here, but been around these Canadian musical acts, particularly since we were doing shows at the Grey Eagle in Calgary, like the Tom Cochrans and the Jason, can't remember his name, from Roadhammers. Don't matter. They all said, thank you for being a champion of Canadian music when it comes to the Grey Cup halftime act. And I'm like, I lost. They don't care. So whatever.
Nobody cares.
I care. A hill not only that I'm not willing to die on, that I did die on. That the Canadian Football League halftime championship act should be Canadian. We'll be back. Dwayne Vanneau, the president of the BC Lions, coming up. Matt Baker as well from BCLions.com. We're live on Game Plus Television, WQEE Radio, streaming live on YouTube, and, of course, Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Skate into the holiday season with the Stars. Stars on Ice 2024 Holiday Tour. With figure skating icon Elvis Stoyko, Olympic medalist Caitlin Osmond, Caitlin Weaver and Andrew Poget, Keegan Messing, Satoko Miyahara, and more. Stars on Ice. Coming to Moose Jaw Event Center December 20th. Unwrap your tickets at starsonice.ca.
Hi, my name is Logan Stankoven.
And I'm Connor Bedard.
We're both Hockey Gives Blood player ambassadors and proud to be blood donors.
There are thousands of patients each year in Canada that rely on a generous stranger to save their life.
Please book an appointment today to donate blood at blood.ca/HGB.
Welcome to the Create Space at IKS Media. Meetings, podcasts, studio. Whether you're here to collaborate or educate, our versatile meeting places, workspaces, and studios await. Your next big idea starts here. Make our space your space. The Create Space at IKS.
From cash spiels to grand slams, club competitions to world championships, there's a lot to keep up with on the pebbled ice. Stay up to date with the Hardline Curling Show, your weekly source for everything curling, with the latest event results, breaking news, interviews with players, executives, and insiders, plus behind-the-scenes access you won't get anywhere else. Follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube. Make sure you don't miss a thing.
We're all capable of doing more. More speed, more reps, more commitment to getting every detail perfect. And that's why it's important we never miss a donation appointment. Blood and plasma donors are needed every day in Canada to support thousands of patients that rely on Canada's lifeline. We're asking you to join the Hockey Gives Blood Partners for Life team. Join today by downloading the Give Blood app or book online at blood.ca/HGB.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Send us your opinions now. We won't victimize you unless you really deserve it. Now, back to your host, Rod Pedersen.
And we're back at it. Kevin the Medium's with me. We're live from the McLaren Custom Grills Radio Row, the only officially licensed CFL barbecue grills. To see and purchase the grills, go to McLarenCustomGrills.com. And this week only, you can use promo code CFL to get 10% off your McLaren Custom Grill. And I should mention the text line's open at 902-518-3033. It's presented by Alaterra. As sports fans, there's nothing we love more than a comeback. In the game against wrinkles, scars, and acne, it's never too late to revitalize your skin with Alaterra Naturals. Go to alaterra.com and use promo code RP20 for a 20% discount off your order. Noni in Calgary's writing in on the Alaterra text line. She says, hey, Rod, it's Jason McCoy you're thinking of. Canadian singer, lead singer of the Roadhammers.
Yes.
I agree that it would be great to have some of our great Canadian talent do the halftime show, but apparently the powers that be don't think it's cool enough. What can you do? Have a great time, and thanks for all your great insight. Thank you, Noni. I'm not sure there's any great insight being thrown out here. What we are doing is having a hell of a lot of fun. When The Weeknd played the halftime of Super Bowl, I'm like, I guess it's not about a nationality thing, so it's not about a nationality thing. Let's just hold hands and sing Kumbaya. Okay?
Don't want me to sing.
Yeah, no. I gave up. One thing, there was no talk about the game last night at the media party, like none, that I was around.
No.
You?
No, I didn't hear anybody. It was just talking, just chatting. It was really cool.
Catching up.
Yeah.
You know, all that stuff. But somebody, I wrote down a point here. Somebody said, who's the next commissioner going to be? And now would be a good time today to talk about it. I mean, Again, it's a CFL thing. Think about this. Gary Bettman has been in the role for 30-plus years with the National Hockey League. Roger Goodell for almost that long with the National Football League. Rob Manfred's been in his post for quite a while for the Major League Baseball. And in the NBA, it's Adam Silver, and he took over from David Stern, who was the commissioner for 30-plus years. So in those leagues, the commissioner role doesn't turn over very often. Randy Ambrosie is presiding over his final Grey Cup here. He's been in the role since 2017, and that is the second longest tenure in the history of the Canadian Football League behind Jake Goddard. That is not that long.
No, I'm shocked by that, actually.
It's like 7 years.
Just over?
Yeah, well, you and I were talking about this the other day. Yesterday, we were checking in, and you asked my thoughts on the commissioner, and I don't want it to be open and shut because we have 2 hours to fill on the air. But to me, if it's not Mike Morreale, I'm not interested. I can't think of anybody else.
Well,
and I don't know if it's going to be him.
Well, it's funny because usually when you have an opening like this, people are talking and throwing names out. I've heard nothing. It's been like radio silence on who's even being considered. You're the first one to bring up a name that I've heard.
Well, and again, as somebody said, who really was Randy Ambrosie? Was not a big name at the time. Yeah, he played in the league, and I think that's great. Jeffrey Orridge, we had no idea who he was, and still don't. He only lasted 2 years out of a 3-year contract. Tom Wright was a fantastic commissioner for the Canadian Football League, and they fired his ass. He took over Adidas Canada, or he came from Adidas Canada. I can't remember, but now he's running UFC Canada, last I heard. But who was Jeff Giles? Who was Michael Lisko? You don't necessarily always hear or know who they are when they take the role in the first place.
Well, it's true. And Jake and I, we were talking about this on our podcast a couple of weeks back. Does it need to be a CFL guy, or should it be strictly a business guy? Someone who understands how to grow a business? Because let's face it, it's a game, but the CFL as a whole is a business that needs to grow. Nobody's been able to make that happen over the last decades.
Yeah.
So do you need a business guy to come in to do it?
Now, number one, I don't know what I'm talking about because I get told that all the time. So let's just put that out there. Rod, you don't know what you're talking about. Okay. With that caveat, they tried this with the business guys in the CFL and in a lot of areas, running leagues and running teams and running, for that matter, radio and TV stations. And how did that go? I'm sorry.
So you think it has to be like a CFL guy?
And it wouldn't hurt to be a military guy either.
Ooh.
Just from what I've seen in South Florida with the Panthers and the success of what they've been doing under Vinny Viola and Matthew Caldwell, some discipline, treating people well, all these things. I'm just saying. Now, if you can get that sports guy that knows business, Bob's your uncle. Wade Miller, Jim Hobson. I think Jay McNeil's going to do great things in Calgary. Chris Morris in Edmonton. They're starting to come back around because the business guys they've hired, I didn't like it at the time, and they just haven't done a good job. Okay? Can we admit it?
But if you get a good business guy in there that will, like you say, hire good football people.
But they don't.
But then you don't have the right guy. You need to find that guy.
No, you need
the Omar Dolmans of the world.
Yeah. This is not a job like a Roger Goodell or a Gary Bettman where you can be a lawyer and come in there and be successful. It's not the same kind of thing. No. What the CFL needs is a salesman. Larry Smith was, in my mind, a great one in the 90s, and he was battling things that were beyond his control. Randy Ambrosie's not a salesman, okay? He's a Canadian offensive lineman. He's like everyone I've ever known. Smart, hardworking, not flashy, and that's about it. That's the list.
Why am I having a flashback to who was the Toronto owner that would rip off his shirt? Dancing around.
Owner of what?
Toronto Argonauts owner. Decades ago.
Had to be more before my time. John in Edmonton says, Rod, CFL fans want the commissioner of the Canadian Elite Basketball League to be the commissioner for the CFL, but he doesn't want to leave the CEBL. He's a very close friend of mine. His name's Mike Morreale, John. And just so you know, he's applied twice for the CFL commissioner's job, got turned down twice. And now he's like, if they can call me. That's where Morreale's at.
Well, and they should be.
Mike Morreale is sharper than the edge of town. And how they... I'm getting too worked up and I should go to a commercial. He's the guy. If it's anybody else but Mike Morreale, it's a fail. Okay?
Interesting.
There's the meme for the day. But could you blame him for not leaving the CEBL?
Got a pretty good job there.
You went after this girl that dated everybody else before you. And then she calls you. What do?
You say, hell yeah. I hope Allison's not listening to that. No, Allison, I was joking.
There's no right or wrong answer to that. But for me, it would be, you know what? Kick rocks. And that's...
Come on, if your dream job is and has been to become the commissioner of the CFL, and they come a call, and you're going to take the call.
You can take the call, but you're not necessarily going to take the job.
True enough.
We'll be right back with a mini overtime after this. The president of the BC Lions, Dwayne Vinno, coming up in hour 2, live here at Radio Row for McLaren Custom Grills. We're live on the Game Plus television network, WQEE Radio. Live streaming on YouTube and, of course, Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Welcome to the Create Space at IKS Media. Meetings, podcasts, studio. Whether you're here to collaborate or educate, our versatile meeting places, workspaces, and studios await. Your next big idea starts here. Make our space your space. The Create Space at IKS.
I'm Bridget Lacquette. I'm a First Nation Olympic silver medalist, and I'm proud to represent Indigenous hockey players across Canada. Each year, hundreds of Canadians need a stem cell transplant from an unrelated donor to save their life. Anyone can have a hard time finding a stem cell match, but for Indigenous peoples, it can be even more difficult because just over 1% of prospective donors on Canada's stem cell registry are of Indigenous backgrounds. Be a hero. Join me in Hockey Gives Blood in helping to make a life-saving difference to those in need. Register today at blood.ca/beahero.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Mo.
The Moustache is calling. Raise funds, save lives. Donate at Movember.com.
Business owners and marketers, Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Did you know you can catch all the best moments from the show on all our social media platforms? Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Okay, everybody, get used to it. Be careful, Julio. This is it. This is live. It's Grey Cup. It's what we do. I'm not joking.
What we do.
We're on television.
Hey,
Game Plus TV. My God. Haven't you trained this guy? How are you, buddy?
I'm still a rookie.
Apparently,
How you doing?
100% on field goals. That's what I heard about you today. 3 for 3?
Yeah, but I missed my convert.
Same game?
Yes.
How about that?
I hit the upright in the convert, but I made my 3 field goals, yes.
Julio Caravata, BC Lions broadcaster, punter, quarterback, Grey Cup champion, all-around great guy.
Thanks, buddy.
I didn't get a chance to say hey to you last night.
I know. It was a good party, though, huh?
It was good. You look a little peaked today.
No, not at all. I'm not a.
You better save that voice, man.
I'm not a big partier anymore. I take it easy.
I'm teasing you, man. It was good. Your town. I've been to a lot of Grey Cups here. So far, this is the best.
Yeah.
It looked, well, just all the signage, the band show.
Down here, downtown, they've done a great job downtown, shutting the roads and making it, easy when you're down here, not having to worry about traffic. And so it's very good. I hope this really turns, this is fantastic. Like, this is the first time I've been in here. This is
okay,
cool.
I don't want to drop this, but have you been to a Super Bowl?
Yes.
Yeah, this is like what it's like. This was the exact footprint of Vegas last year in the Super Bowl. So whoever's responsible, bravo. I think when the fans come down, you're going to get a Super Bowl experience.
Yeah, and this is going to be fantastic for the kids, most importantly, right? There's tons of stuff, interactive stuff for them to do, so fantastic.
I'm also not going to want to be that guy, but I'm going to say it'll almost make you forget the Lions aren't in it.
That one's going to stink for a while, I think, for people. That's a whole different show, Roddy. But yes, it was a big disappointment that they weren't able to find a way to get into this game.
You've been doing this a long time. Do you remember? Not scandal wouldn't be a controversy. Do you remember a controversy this size?
Not like that. Like, it's just, I think the situation was so unique in the sense that, when do you get a player of Nathan Rourke's caliber kind of get dropped on your lap midway through a season when you have already a quarterback that's already in a most outstanding player situation? You know what I mean? It's just the dynamics of all of it. It was very, very unique. And I think that given how it all kind of played itself out, I think you probably ask a lot of people, they probably might have done things a little bit differently. But that's, what happens when you go through those situations. They don't come up very often, so you don't know how to handle them. And I think going back, I think they probably would have handled it a little bit differently.
Bomber Boy in Calgary says, what's the plan for VA? He was at the party last night. I chatted with him briefly. He doesn't seem to know. So do you think they know?
I saw an interesting tweet this morning while I was driving down here, or I took the SkyTrain down here, but Eugene Lewis saying about how the pending free, and Vernon Adams replied to it with eyeballs. And I'm just thinking, so you hear, like, this is the best part about for us. This week is all the talk, because there is a ton of talk about, especially where Vernon's going to end up. I'm sure there's going to be multiple teams that are going to be, that are going to have an interest in him. Calgary, I would imagine, Edmonton, potentially, Saskatchewan, potentially. It's going to be very interesting to see where he ends up.
A quick yes or no, should the Riders bring back Trevor Harris or not?
Yes.
Yes, yeah. I can't believe anybody would say anything otherwise.
There was no hesitation in my voice.
No, me either. He's outstanding.
He is.
Yeah.
The thing about having Trevor, for me personally, you got to have the next guy ready. Now, Shea Patterson, that guy, I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
If he's not, then you got to, because you don't want to waste that valuable couple of years with Trevor and his experience and being able to mentor a young quarterback.
That's it. We're out of time. That was quick and painless. You're good, man. You're good. I love you, Julio. You know that, buddy.
Brother.
Okay. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, no
Hour
problem.
2, more Lions Grey Cup talk coming up right after this.
We're all capable of doing more. More speed, more reps, more commitment to getting every detail perfect. And that's why it's important we never miss a donation appointment. Blood and plasma donors are needed every day in Canada to support thousands of patients that rely on Canada's lifeline. We're asking you to join the Hockey Gives Blood Partners for Life team. Join today by downloading the Give Blood app or book online at blood.ca/HGB.
Welcome to the Create Space at IKS Media. Meetings, podcasts, studio. Whether you're here to collaborate or educate, our versatile meeting places, workspaces, and studios await. Your next big idea starts here. Make our space your space. The Create Space at IKS.
IKS Game Day wishes to congratulate the City of Estevan and Affinity Place on their brand new center ice display. This state-of-the-art score clock features 5 LED faces with full motion graphics, scoring integration, and our new Halo mounting system. If it's time for an upgrade, let us show you how to deliver the best fan experience. You can find us at iksgameday.com.
The live sports experience is changing. Teams and facilities are under pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. IKS Live has the right team to deliver. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience, in the seats or streaming to you. IKS Live continues to bring you the best seat in the house.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
I'm in a bit of a coffee conundrum, everybody. And Darren's a coffee aficionado. Dunkin' Donuts will give you the biggest coffee for $3.28, and you don't got to tip anybody. But then you go to Brooklyn Water Bagel, where it's refillable, but I don't really sit in one place long enough to sit and refill all the coffees. It's like $3.40, but then there's the tip prompt. And if you don't tip them, you look like a jerk.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Hour 2, the RP Show, coming to you live from the 111th Grey Cup, and we're on Game Plus Television, WQEE Radio, and streaming live from the Grey Cup Festival, Radio Row for McLaren Custom Grills, and we're very pleased to be joined by Dwayne Vinneau. I didn't know, I knew the president of the BC Lions. I didn't know the co-chair of this whole darn thing. So I'm going to say right now, bravo, man.
Yeah, thank you.
From what I've seen already, congratulations. You must be very happy with the start.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a kickoff party last night, and we did a little sneak peek of the street festival and inside, this family area as well. And it was just a huge hit. And I took the cup over the zip line.
Twice you did.
I know I did. I had to do a practice run. And
oh, is that what it was?
We did a practice, and then we went live with our kickoff parties. Yeah, it's been a great start, and we officially opened here at 11 o'clock this morning.
As soon as we get off the air.
Yeah.
Right out front?
Right out front. It's all open, and we're ready to go. The party's on.
Okay, can I say this? This is going to go fast. I asked Dwayne if he's got 15 minutes for me. He said yes. I feel like there's still time for all of BC to get in here, Canada for that matter. There's still time.
Absolutely.
They're not going to want to miss this.
No, and we've got almost 50,000 tickets sold to the game on Sunday. All of our events, we have about 60 events that we plan above and beyond everything. All of our events are selling well and almost at capacity. So it's going to be a great week. And we had a little bit of rain yesterday, but it went away, and now it looks like we're no rain for the rest of the weekend.
My friends here were sending me screenshots. As you see, I live in South Florida now, and it's going to be cold, it's going to be rainy. I said, I'm not coming to go to the beach. So it could be way worse, Dwayne. It could be way worse.
Yeah.
And listen, I've been to a few of these Grey Cups. Nick, you're an Edmonton guy?
Yeah.
Originally?
Yes.
Did you start with the Eskimos?
I did.
How long you been out here?
Amar hired me in August of 22, so about 2.5 years now.
Do you know offhand how many Grey Cups you've been at?
Oh, man. I used to be the chief Grey Cup and events officer for the CFL before I joined here. So, I don't
25?
know. 20 for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here's what I know.
Yeah.
As the BC Lions, if you're not in it, you probably got some time on your hands. Not that you're sitting there looking for things to do, but Julio's down here, you're down here, Matt Baker's coming down here.
Yeah.
That's the tough part of not being in it. How's that affected everything, do you think?
When you start planning a Grey Cup, you obviously want to be in the game. You want to host your own Grey Cup. You want to be in the game. You want to win it. That's sort of the magic times. But you don't make your plans for that. If that's what you say that it has to be successful if you're in the game and win.
Yeah.
That the odds of doing that aren't always the best. And so obviously we wanted to be in. When we lost out against Saskatchewan, we licked our wounds for a couple of days, and then we turned into good hosts. And we just want to host the country, host all the teams, and have a very good experience here. And that's what we're here to do.
Well, I tell you what, when the Canadian Football Hall of Fame guys were carrying in the cup last night, my heart started skipping. It's like we've been to dozens of these, and it never gets old. It's so exciting.
Once you come to a Grey Cup for the first time and experience the festival around it, not just the game, but the game's obviously special as well, but going to the team parties and just going to the live music that you have on the street and all the awards and the galas and just all the things, it sort of gets addicting. And we have people, I have people all the time say to me, I've been to 32 Grey Cups. I've been to 12 Grey Cups. I've been to this. I meet all my friends. I take my holidays. I do it every year, and it's very infectious.
It's what I say. Everyone's the same and everyone's different. They're unique in their own way. Yet now the imprint's largely similar, and as you say, you were running these for years. But I don't know who's responsible, but this has a Super Bowl feel. And this, because I kind of feel like I was in Vegas last year. This is the same thing. And you guys went down there?
Yeah, what we tried to do is, and you're right, and Moj obviously, and he's saying the same thing. He goes, Dwayne, I go to Super Bowl every year. This has that vibe and that feel. We wanted to make sure that you can experience different things. Like we have people in front of us right now is trying to field goal. You can make a diving catch at the WestJet experience, CFL experience. You can take a zip line outside. You can take a zip line in here. We want to really just entertain people. It's all free. We want people to come down, have a good time, and the more people that don't really even like local people from Vancouver that have never been to a Lions game before, maybe they might come down and go, oh man, I want to go to a CFL game. So that's really what it's all about.
And all those things you mentioned are within a 100-yard region?
Well, we've taken over the whole East Convention Center here. And then we've taken over the West Convention Center for all of the parties and all the team rooms under one roof, which is very cool as well. And then the streets closed in between us. So it's really, you can walk to every single event. The hotels are very close. All the events are close. So when people say, I'm going to Grey Cup, you know where they're going. It's not spread out around town.
Well, and also coming down Granville in toward downtown, the street post, the goal post, and all of that. I can't imagine that's easy to do. Right?
Yeah. You know what? The mayor and the city's been tremendous. He's been out to a couple events already. He's basically said, if you need anything, let me know. The YVR, has had lots of branding there when you land on the planes.
Yep.
And we're just, again, we're going to be good hosts, and we want to welcome the country to come and experience a great Grey Cup.
What else should people know, Dwayne, that are watching right now?
Yeah, like, just come down and have a good time. It really is. It's starting now. We're very excited, and the scenery, as you know, is when the rain is lifted and that sun starts shining, with that mountains and that ocean shining around you, and you'll be able to zip. There's one zip line that really goes over the water right into the. It looks like you're going into the ocean. It's a tremendous experience.
I loved it this morning as it was with clouds over and a very slight drizzle. So I can't imagine what it would be like when the clouds lift. I'm assuming they will.
My favorite part, let's continue that question. My favorite part of Grey Cups is always all the fan bases wearing their colors and having a beer together and walking down the street together, and just the camaraderie of the fan base that has a great time this week together. They don't care about their team in it or not in it, and it's all about the CFL. That is my favorite part.
I noticed it last night. I'm like, I recognize a lot of these faces. There's new faces, new fans, but they're all in their team colors and they're arm in arm, and that's what this was made on. But listen, I gotta give you a lot of kudos for doing the zip line, because I used to be a bit of a daredevil. I'm not anymore, but you did it.
Yeah,
twice.
Yeah, it was fun. I did it again this morning. Actually. We had a local CTV was here, and we went on with the camera and did a zip line this morning. So
Tell me all about it.
Oh, it's so we have one zip line that goes over the water, like we just mentioned, and it's about 500 feet long, and it's just, it's really picturesque. Obviously, you're looking in the mountains and the ocean, and the other one's going down the street over the entire festival, and it looks like at one point you're coming really close to the corner of the convention center, and we call that the city line. And again, you can go and pick which one you want, and we estimate that we're going to have lots of people up there.
Does it feel long or does it feel fast?
It's both. The city one is it's 8 stories high, so it's you have to get up quite a bit of distance to get up there.
And they strap you in. There's no chance of you letting go.
No. It's the company's called Zip Trek, and they operate a full-time, year-round a zip line in the Squamish, Whistler area.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, basically, when you announced this a year ago, this festival, or whenever it was, that zip line was part of it, right? You knew you were going to do this.
Yeah, we put it in our bid process. So, these days, the days of just sort of saying, the CFL saying, here, Vancouver, have a Grey Cup, those are over. You have to bid on it and explain your business plan on what you're going to do, and it was in at that point as well.
Oh, cool.
We've been knowing we're going to do this for a long time.
Yeah, I remember the announcement.
Yeah.
I'm like, that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
and
great.
Well, congratulations, too, by the way, on the Lions. Did you guys lead the league in attendance increase?
I'm not sure if we led the league in increase, but we are number 3 in attendance this year.
Wow.
And 2.5 years ago, or when Amar bought the team as well, I think we were 3rd last. So we've had steady growth the whole time. We're averaging, in that sort of 26, 27, 28 range every game. And we have a lot of work to do yet, Rod. We keep pushing every day, but, we're trying to get it. So we want that upper bowl open every game.
Well, given your size of that stadium, you could lead the league in attendance. Now, I don't think BC ever has. It might be a very lofty goal, but a good one to achieve.
Hey, we like lofty goals.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and tell me about Amar Doman. I've never actually met him. I'm hoping to. But what's it like going to work for this guy every day, the owner?
Unbelievable, Rod. He the day he bought the team and he was announced, he basically said, this team, the BC Lions, is going to be in my family forever, and I am going to invest to bring the fans back. When he hired me, one of the things he said, and still resonates with me, he says, we lost a generation of fans. And he meant the BC Lions, but he also meant the entire league. So we've been focusing on, building the families and building the sport of football. He coaches his own kids' football team. He's invested. We do things like bringing 50 Cent in for that home opener concert, and just everything that we do. We're just trying to make our how do we do things so the fans are more accessible. 4 p.m. starts is very big in this market.
Huge, yeah, I see that.
It helps our season seat holders and fan base from Victoria and the interior. And he's an amazing guy. He's willing to invest. He wants to all he really wants us to do is to build this product and try new things. And we've
Seems
been
like it.
doing
That's
that.
what it looks like.
Yeah.
Just from the audience, before I let you go, Alan in Saskatoon says, very well done, Vancouver. You're representing Vancouver here today, just so you know.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you
Way to
very
go.
much. Yeah.
Bill says, can you ask him for webcam info for the events? Is there a webcam?
Yeah, so tonight the awards, if you go to CFL.ca, you can watch the awards as well. And there's a webcam also, I believe. I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think there's a global webcam that overlooks the festival.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Janice, she's in Edmonton, but cheers for Calgary. She says, Grey Cup and festival is important in our family. I met my Elks-loving husband at the 2011 Grey Cup. Grey Cup, hashtag Stamps fan in Edmonton. So that's what it's all about. This has been fantastic, Dwayne. I appreciate you stopping
thank
by.
you very much,
I'll
Rod.
see you in round.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
We're going to take a time out. Kevin, the medium, joins us, and more special guests. I see they've got this underway. Are they testing this, or is it open? I saw people going down it. It's open? We're open for business. We'll be right back on Game Plus Television, WQEE Radio, streaming live on YouTube, and, of course, Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
The live sports experience is changing. Teams and facilities are under pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. IKS Live has the right team to deliver. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience, in the seats or streaming to you. IKS Live continues to bring you the best seat in the house.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
We're all capable of doing more. More speed, more reps, more commitment to getting every detail perfect. And that's why it's important we never miss a donation appointment. Blood and plasma donors are needed every day in Canada to support thousands of patients that rely on Canada's lifeline. We're asking you to join the Hockey Gives Blood Partners for Life team. Join today by downloading the Give Blood app or book online at blood.ca/HGB.
The 80s Club, live in Moose Jaw. Honeymoon Suite, along with a flock of seagulls. Men without hats. And spoons. All together for one night at Moose Jaw Event Center, Saturday, November 16th. Tickets on sale now at sastix.ca or the Moose Jaw Event Center box office.
Sounds like he knows what he's doing a little bit. As long as you're entertained. Aren't you entertained?
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Send us your opinions now. We won't victimize you unless you really deserve it. Now, back to your host, Rod Pedersen.
Will you guys do a cheer for us? Okay, you're not going to believe this, everybody. Come on in. I was hoping this would. Come on in here, guys, if you don't mind. We have very special guests here on Radio Row for McLaren Custom Grills. Radio Row. The BC Lions cheer team. There you are, guys. Can you do a cheer for us? I don't care. Whatever one you want.
Beautiful. Bingo. Spicy. How about that?
Down.
Let's go, Lions!
I love it. I love it. Thank you, guys.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Thanks, Maddie. You have, yeah, you too.
Okay.
Dundee.
They worked all morning on that cheer.
Uproar.
Top that, Pat Hustler.
That was awesome.
That was really good. You're not going to get that on too many daytime. Is McAfee doing that? I didn't see him doing that at Super Bowl.
Probably not.
Yeah. Kevin the Medium is with us. We're live from the 111th Grey Cup in Vancouver. I hope Baker got a good photo of it. Matt Baker of the BC Lions was here. But I tell you, when you're not in the Grey Cup, you have nothing to do. Lions cheerleaders, Lions president. Well, Vino, I said that to him and he was like,
I wouldn't say nothing to do. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff being asked, especially of the upper ladies, people like Matt Baker, the president of the Lions. They're probably busy, but it's cool that they took the time to spend 15 minutes with you.
Oh, absolutely. Randy from Winnipeg says, I'm awake now. LOL. Bomber Boy says, whoop, whoop, beautiful. He is. And the cheerleaders weren't bad either.
How about
Jeff the Stamps fan says, let's see if Kevin can get a date. You've got a date. She's at home watching the show. Shy in Regina writes it. He says, morning, Rod, you're awesome. Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. That just made my day. That kind of made the show right there for today.
That was kind of cool. Kind of cool.
I'm hoping that the Saskatchewan Roughriders pep band will come by and do a cheer, because that's always a tradition when I'm doing live Grey Cup shows. But again, what? Oh, yeah, he's not a Rider fan. Not a Rider fan. Who's texting me here? The BC Lions are texting me. Stop talking about us.
Why are you talking about us?
You're going to be on the air with me tomorrow. Oh, we're way over for... No, we took the break. We took it early. I was saying to Kevin, these live shows, they're different.
They're fun.
They're different. Well, they're different than being in the studio, whether it is the bunker or the South Florida studio. It's just different. You got live guests coming in and out. You got cheerleaders jumping on and off. You got team presidents. You got broadcasters. You never really know the way it's going to go. It's cool, though, what Vino said, that the voice of the BC Lions, Bob Marjanovic, who's a great guy, can agree with me. This has a Super Bowl feel. I feel like that is the greatest marketing stretch. You anti-NFL whack jobs, go away for a second. I feel like for a lot of people that are sitting on the fence, whether or not, thank you, Matt, are sitting on the fence whether or not they're going to come, oh, it's like Super Bowl, because that's what it's like. That's a good selling feature.
That's a huge selling feature. Let's face it, the NFL sets the bar.
Yeah.
When it comes to the putting on an event, this NFL sets the bar. If the CFL could pick up even just a little bit of what the Super Bowl is, and people walk in here and say, wow, it really has that Super Bowl feel, that's awesome.
Matt Hyman writes in, he says, hey, Rod, can you say hello to Huss and the Winnipeg Sports Talkers? Bro, go back an hour. They were on the show, and they jumped in for a photo. The Winnipeg Sports Talkers have been on the show. We tweeted a photo of them from our Twitter account, @RodPedersen Show. So I appreciate you, Matt Hyman, but we are way out front of you here today. So it's got a Super Bowl feel. We're having fun. Who's back here? Okay, they're starting sliding down here. This is the calm before the storm here on Radio Row for McLaren Custom Grills. Are you prepared for that?
I am.
Here they come.
It was the Lions cheerleaders again.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
Okay. Can I ask you this? For the Rider fans that are watching, of which there are many, total non-sidebar, like there are some questions coming in. Aaron in Winnipeg says, will the Riders ever win another Grey Cup? Well, they won't this year, so I don't feel like answering that today. But Julio and I agreed very quickly that Trevor Harris should be their quarterback next year. I don't know why it's even a debate.
Is it a debate? Is anybody that follows the CFL would instantly, when that question is asked, the obvious answer is, of course he will. It's just that simple. Of course he will. Next.
Yeah. Well, let's walk this back for a second. If I had photos and I should have sent them, I guess I could put them in the WhatsApp. You tell me, Clark, if you want them. But Vernon Adams last night, BC Lions starting quarterback, I had a brief chat with him, and I said, hey, VA, you going to be wearing green next year? And he goes, depends on the shade. There's elk green. There's Saskatchewan green. He says it was a stock answer. He's not saying anything. But the thing is, the Rider fans, believe me, I'd like to think I would know, always want, the grass is always greener, pardon the pun. So they'd rather have Vernon Adams than Trevor Harris. I believe that.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think they should?
No. I think Trevor has the put them where they need to be, and it's his team. Just like BC, it was VA's team in BC, and I think that's what's caused BC to have the season they did, the disappointing season they did, is because of the way they handled that whole, I don't want to say quarterback controversy, but how they use their quarterbacks is, I guess, the proper way to say that.
I just want to drop this in from Matt Hyman. He says, I'll go back and watch, Rod. I'm watching Hustler right now, too. Multitasking fail on my part. No, you didn't do anything wrong. I'm just telling you we had those guys on. So if you go back and watch earlier, you'll enjoy it. It was kind of funny, and it's on our Twitter. Well, you're the BC Lions fan in the house. Who do you want starting week 1 for BC next year?
Oh, without a question, again, it's going to be Rourke.
Do you want that? I didn't ask what it'll be.
100%. If any team has the opportunity to have a Nathan Rourke start the season for them and they decide they want to go another way, that coach should be fired. The GM should be fired. There's no universe that you could play in that you don't want a talent like Nathan Rourke to start. Did he stumble and have a disappointing season? I was trying to come up with a better word. Yeah, sure he did. It was everything that happened in between is what caused that. I think you go through training camp with Rourke, you start with Rourke. Rourke is your guy.
Take it from the BC Lions fan, and I think that's the way it's going to work. John Ohm writes in, he says, do not give up on Nathan Rourke. Are you nuts? He's saying they won't.
No.
I guess that's why everybody's saying Vernon Adams is on his way out here, and it's tough. And, I mean, you saw VA last night, cut through the crowd, came right to our table, posed for a photo with you. He's a good guy. But I feel like Nathan Rourke's also a good guy. And as John Frenzy used to say, nice guys run the Kinsman Club. It doesn't matter who's a nice guy. Who can win football games? And the odd thing is, for the BC Lions in crunch time, neither one could.
No.
It's amazing. It's one of the wildest stories. And
you have the two best quarterbacks in the league, in my opinion, and neither of them could get the job done.
Taylor in Calgary writes in, he says, I hope to see Vernon Adams in Calgary, VA. Isn't it? It's almost sad in a way. Is the Toronto-Winnipeg matchup in the 111th Grey Cup so drab that we need to sit and talk about quarterback carousel in the offseason already? Can it not wait a week? We're a guilty party. I'm not scolding anybody. I'm just saying, is it not a sexy enough matchup that we can talk?
And you know it isn't. I mean, it could have been anybody but Toronto and Winnipeg. It's, I said it on our podcast, the Hughes Sports Podcast. You bring the Riders in, it changes the excitement in the game. Doesn't matter who they're playing. It just changes the excitement. It is good for business, as Mr. McMahon would say.
Okay. Few things as we drop in on the Alaterra skincare text line. Use promo code RP20 for 20% off your first order at alaterra.com. They didn't say this, but I am. Not your mom's skin cream. It's a brand new game with Alaterra. We were talking about who the next commissioner should be, which is another thing. We got a game to play on Sunday. We're saying who's going to be the commissioner, who's going to be the quarterbacks and where. And the matchup, it was a bit of a rhetorical question. I'm with you. It's not that sexy of a matchup.
It isn't.
I was tricking you. But Ray is watching in Scarborough, Ontario. And he says, hey, Rod, talking about commissioners. The OHL hired former Argonaut Brian Crawford to run a hockey league. So you don't necessarily need a football guy to be CFL commissioner. For the record, my vote would be Mike Morreale. It's Kate. If I said it needed to be a football guy, I erred. You're right. Being a sports guy, it matters. And I'll give you a really good example. The Vegas Golden Knights president is a guy by the name of Kerry Booble. I believe that's how he says it. Kerry Boobles. He came from the Cleveland Cavaliers as president. He won a championship in the NBA and the NHL. Look at Stan Kroenke, the owner of the LA Rams, Colorado Avalanche, Colorado Mammoth, all these leagues. Soccer team that's won a championship. He's won a championship in every. It's not about your knowledge of the sport itself. It's about sports. And I'm with you. I still think it should be Mike Morreale. But get a sports guy in there, not a business guy that likes sports. There's a difference in my mind.
See, I'm going to disagree with you. I still think you need a business guy that knows how to build a brand.
Why can't you have a sports guy that knows business and knows how to build a brand?
If you could find that guy, that's great. If you can't find that guy, then you need to go to a business guy that knows how to grow a brand. Because that's what the CFL needs to do. They need to grow the brand.
What these business guys have done in a lot of ways have just pinched pennies, run it by, well, I'm not necessarily referring to the Saskatchewan Roughriders specifically, but all that mentality, running it from the accounting department, hasn't worked. They don't use the concept of spend money to make money. They don't.
No.
And that's how they've fallen in with a lot of trouble here, and why you're seeing these broadcast companies go belly up across Canada and sports teams losing money. They've mismanaged it as business people. So that's my soapbox on that.
There you go.
Darcy writes in. Darcy is in Edmonton, Alberta. He says the Rough Riders are crazy if they don't make a hard pitch for Trey Ford. Comparisons to how every team in the league slept on Anthony Calvillo in 1998 because of how young and raw he was, except for the Alouettes. Look how that turned out. Well, it is going to be an exceptionally fun off-season in the Canadian Football League. And now would be the time for us to talk about it, because I'm going to tell you right now, when the CFL gets handed out Sunday night, I'm going to be switching a lot of my attention to college football, bowl season, NFL stretch drive and playoffs, and the National Hockey League. That's my plan. I love the CFL, but the CFL's got to do a lot to win me back.
Yes.
From a business perspective. That's a fact, Jack. So now would be a time to talk about the next commissioner, the quarterback carousel. So I get that, but I also think it's part of this matchup. Ain't that sexy on Sunday? That's a fact, too, Jack.
Well, see, I've heard a lot of people talk about Trey Ford going to Saskatchewan. Why? Why would they do that? They have their quarterback.
Who's saying it?
Twitter.
No, but what Twitter accounts? Is it Rider fans?
It's Rider fans.
Yeah, I just told you what you're listening. They want what they don't have, always. It's not going to be changed. Not going to be fixed. To be happy with Trevor Harris.
But I think you could say that for any team, because I look at the BC Lions and everybody's like, do we get rid of VA or do we get rid of Rourke? We keep VA. And I'm like, you don't get rid of one of the best quarterbacks to play the game. What did you call him in 2022? Rourke?
I don't know.
WestJet?
Oh, yeah. That didn't catch on either.
It didn't. I did.
Mike Grey Cup, Canadian talent, didn't catch on. GM of the Year award didn't catch on. WestJet didn't catch on. So I gave up. Freddie in Winnipeg writes in, he says, bring them back, Rod, the Lions cheerleaders. The show has never looked so good. Thank you, Freddie. They should be thanking you, not me. Brian in Beausejour, Manitoba writes in. Good day, RP and the Grey Cup crew. Blue Bomber cheerleaders next on the agenda. I haven't seen those gals.
Do they wear Smurf costumes?
I'll tell you what I know about the Bomber cheerleaders, at least back in the day. They knew how to party.
I would love it if a Bomber fan came in wearing a Smurf outfit. It would make my day.
He calls the Bomber fans Smurf Mafia. We're not going there.
I just went there.
Brian goes on to say, good to see the crew on the left coast. Enjoy the Blue Bomber Grey Cup win. I'm going to tell you something. I said it because I don't need to be a salesman for the CFL. The matchup is not that sexy. And if Sunday's game ends up being a blowout, that's going to suck.
It's going to be horrible for the league.
They can't help it. It's not their fault.
No. An upset would be the magic bullet that the league needs. That storyline, the backup coming in, fresh off the bench, wins the game. How many times have you dreamt about it?
A lot.
Right?
Do you know Jake Hughes?
I think people refer to him as my mini-me.
His kid. And they host the Hughes Sports Podcast together. And he says the next commissioner of the CFL needs to be a businessman. We don't need another old CFL guy. I kind of get, you're saying that Ambrosie is that former player, that he's that. Are you saying no to Mike Morreale then? Yeah, I say this again about Ambrosie. I've said it a million times. I have no reason not to like him. I don't know the pressures that he's had behind the scenes, which incidentally, Mike Morreale will face the same pressures if he were to become the next commissioner.
Yes.
I think working for these owners, I could think of few things I would want to do less than report to these guys. Okay, so I don't know how much of this stuff Randy Ambrosie has to wear, other though, because of his salary at $750,000 a year. You got to. I can put up with a lot of crap if you want to pay me that. You know what I'm saying?
Put me in.
So all these private questions I'd like to ask him. Who's for expansion? Who isn't? How serious were you when you talked to The Rock? If you talked to The Rock at all. You know what I mean? Those kinds of things I'd like to know.
I'd love to have that conversation.
Scott in Toronto writes in, and he says, cheerleaders, please go down the slide again. I'm channeling the movie Animal House. Thank you, God.
I think we've lost the show to the cheerleaders.
A second I saw him, you probably saw the twinkle in my eye. I'm like, they got to get on the show. Or what did you say it?
I said, okay.
Aaron Von Baum writes, and he says, put the Smurf stuff to bed.
He's never going to go to bed. You're stuck with it, live with it, accept it. It's a cool name.
Aaron says, speak for yourself, Rod. Us Smurfs would love a Bomber blowout. You know, and that's another thing, by the way, because I've been around this league a long time. I have so many Bomber fan friends that in that drought of 30 years.
Oh.
I get it. I felt the pain. I saw it. I felt bad for them. I think the darkest moments in Rider history don't even compare to the darkest moments in Bomber history.
No.
So what they're doing now, they ain't getting over this winning, the euphoria of winning anytime soon, nor should they. I got to take a break. We'll get into more of this when we come back. Ain't it fun? We're live from the 111th Grey Cup from the McLaren Custom Grills Radio Row, the only officially licensed CFL barbecue grills. To see and purchase the grills, go to McLarenCustomGrills.com. And this week only, you can use promo code CFL to get 10% off your McLaren Custom Grill. We'll be right back on Game Plus Television, WQEE Radio, live streaming on YouTube and, of course, Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
cash spiels to Grand Slams, club competitions to World Championships, there's a lot to keep up with on the pebbled ice. Stay up to date with the Hardline Curling Show, your weekly source for everything curling, with the latest event results, breaking news, interviews with players, executives, and insiders, plus behind-the-scenes access you won't get anywhere else. Follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube. Make sure you don't miss a thing.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
I'm Bridget Lacquette. I'm a First Nation Olympic silver medalist, and I'm proud to represent Indigenous hockey players across Canada. Each year, hundreds of Canadians need a stem cell transplant from an unrelated donor to save their life. Anyone can have a hard time finding a stem cell match, but for Indigenous peoples, it can be even more difficult because just over 1% of prospective donors on Canada's stem cell registry are of Indigenous backgrounds. Be a hero. Join me in Hockey Gives Blood in helping to make a life-saving difference to those in need. Register today at blood.ca/beahero.
Sounds like he knows what he's doing a little bit. As long as you're entertained. Aren't you entertained?
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Oh, yeah, he's back. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Okay, we're live from the 111th Grey Cup in Vancouver, the RP Show. Did I mention, is your skincare starting rotation giving up big hits to wrinkles, age spots, and acne scars? Revitalize your self-care roster with Aliterra's all-natural lineup of nourishing products. Aliterra.com. Use the promo code RP20 for a 20% discount of your first order. And hour 2 of the RP Show brought to you by our friends. Oh, my God. Something I forgot to get to here. Not this, though. Culligan. Clear water, clear choice. Filter out the bad and taste the good. Culligan Water of Regina. CulliganRegina.com. One thing that I've never really gotten into was the CFL Awards for various reasons. It is tonight. I know that the awards gala is sold out. I've never really been invited to it, for one. I've been to it, but they, as a media, they keep us in a cattle pen. And we don't get to go out and sit with all the mucky mucks. And unless I had we had a rider in it of the team that I was with or a friend, I didn't really care. Now, I do have some intrigue for tonight. I think we do. Yeah. That's our poll question I haven't even got to yet. For our friends at EMJ Marketing, they'll provide the perfect keynote speaker for your event. Contact Joe at EMJmarketing.com. Who will win the most outstanding player award tonight at the CFL Awards here in Vancouver at the 111th Grey Cup. Clark, the nominees, the finalists. From the West, Winnipeg's Brady Oliveira. Running back from the East, my good friend, Hamilton quarterback Bo Levi Mitchell. Clark, what are they saying, if you don't mind, on YouTube? 64% are saying Brady Oliveira of the BC Lions will win. And give me 1 second. On Twitter, where did it go? 63% say Brady Oliveira. Now, knowing full on Winnipeg is our #2 city for viewership, this should not surprise me, unless there are other CFL fans voting for Brady Oliveira. I think it's Bo in a wash. I've said it a million times. I don't even like him, and I think he should win. How about you? I've never asked you.
I totally agree with you. I'm not a huge Bo fan, but he turned it around this year. He looked like Bo of old. After the game he got benched, he came back on the field, and it was Bo of old, and he deserves it. Yeah, he didn't make the playoffs, blah, 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 blah. It's not about making the playoffs. It's who was the most outstanding player. It was Bo.
This business of not making the playoffs is I don't, so what? Who cares? What?
It doesn't matter.
I don't know. Where does it say in the league constitution that he can't or shouldn't win the MVP because your team missed the playoffs? It's an individual award. Again, one of a list of things I'm going to have to give up. Okay, here we go. Petting zoo time.
See, now, Jake, I understand what the gorillas feel like at the zoo. Don't stare at the gorillas.
Don't feed the animals.
Only Jake will get that joke.
The doors are open, folks. And if I could turn this camera around, you would see people just stopping. It is what it is. We're very grateful to be here and have jobs whereby people can stare at us. How about that? So the awards are these tonight. Most outstanding player, I just said. Winnipeg's Brady Oliveira, Hamilton's Bo Levi. We're both voting for Bo, but we'll see. There's a lot of intrigue there.
Yeah.
Tonight, reason to follow it. Most outstanding defensive player, Saskatchewan Roughriders DB Roland Milligan Jr. They say 66% of the earth is covered by water. The other 34% is covered by Roland Milligan.
How about that?
I got that from you, Vintage Sasko. Montreal's Tyrese Beverett represents the East. Who wins the Defensive Player of the Year?
Saskatchewan.
Most outstanding special teams player, BC Lions kicker Sean White, or Toronto kick returner Janarian Grant.
Ooh, I've got to stick with my Lions. Mr. White.
Even though the guy couldn't kick a thing in the playoffs. Didn't he miss 2 or 3 converts in the playoff?
It was windy.
Okay.
The rain was blowing.
If you're okay with losing.
Ouch.
Most outstanding rookie. Edmonton's Nick Anderson or Hamilton's Shamar Bridges?
Shamar Bridges.
Me too.
Yeah.
And the Coach of the Year, the Ennis Stukas Award winner, Saskatchewan's Corey Mace or Montreal's Jason Maas.
You know, that's as we say on the Hugh Sports podcast, is a coin toss.
Coin toss?
A coin toss, yeah. It was an old man slip many months ago. I'm going to say Mace.
Corey Mace, the head coach of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Now, wouldn't that be something, as my mom would say, wouldn't that be a trick if Corey Mace won in his rookie season Coach of the Year? The last Saskatchewan Roughriders Coach of the Year to do that in his rookie season? Yeah, I feel like you earlier or Scott Morganroth of the South Florida Street. You'll never know. Only us Rider people would know. Ken Austin.
Oh, really?
2007 Grey Cup. A winner and Coach of the Year.
To say about that?
Thank you, Kent. Currently the offensive coordinator of the Auburn Tigers of the SEC.
I've never been a fan of award shows, so even if the pass would have got us in, I probably would have passed on that one. There's something else I'm sure we can do.
Vintage Sasko writes in on the Alaterra Skincare text line 902-518-3033. Says, hi, Rod. Can you spread a rumor that the Riders should bribe Uncle Lee Genier to the organization in some high capacity? Love the on-field product, but I'm guilty of loving the early off-season talk. See you tomorrow. Signed, Sasko. That formerly fake Gainer. That's the hot rumor. Lee Genier is going to be taking over a leadership role of the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Hell yes.
They should be so lucky. We were talking about Lee last night.
This morning.
You and me, or was it this morning?
It was this morning. It's going to be a long week,
It's
folks.
already starting to roll one day into the next. And I said, Lee makes me laugh, man. Everything that guy says makes me. That's not a road you want to go down, Rod.
It's not a road.
You and I both know that. Darcy in Edmonton regarding the Montreal quarterback situation and, with Trey Ford, comparing him to Anthony Calvillo. He says the Alouettes already had Tracy Ham when they signed Calvillo. It's about succession planning. When you said they've got Trevor Harris, why would they sign Trey Ford?
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you what, Darcy, if you're that big of a fan, which it seems like you are, if you believe the reports, which I do, that Trey Ford wasn't happy not starting, he's not going to sign anywhere that he's not starting. Rightly or wrongly, he has that ability. He has that leverage.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And he's going to be a starter in this league starting next year. It's just a matter of who picks him up. I don't think Calgary is going to be picking up VA or a Trey Ford, just for the fact they signed this TJ Walker.
PJ Walker.
PJ Walker, thank you. And how do I put this? They don't want to spend the money.
They're cheap.
I didn't want to say that, Rod.
Gotcha. We'll be right back with overtime, everybody. It's gotten crazy here in the Vancouver Convention Center Grey Cup Festival. 111th Grey Cup. We'll be right back on Game Plus TV, WQEE Radio, live streaming on YouTube, and, of course, Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
From cash spiels to Grand Slams, club competitions to world championships, there's a lot to keep up with on the pebbled ice. Stay up to date with the Hardline Curling Show, your weekly source for everything curling, with the latest event results, breaking news, interviews with players, executives, and insiders, plus behind-the-scenes access you won't get anywhere else. Follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube. Make sure you don't miss a thing.
We're all capable of doing more. More speed, more reps, more commitment to getting every detail perfect. And that's why it's important we never miss a donation appointment. Blood and plasma donors are needed every day in Canada to support thousands of patients that rely on Canada's lifeline. We're asking you to join the Hockey Gives Blood Partners for Life team. Join today by downloading the Give Blood app or book online at blood.ca/HGB.
Sounds like he knows what he's doing a little bit. As long as you're entertained. Aren't you entertained?
Welcome to the Create Space at IKS Media. Meetings, podcasts, studio. Whether you're here to collaborate or educate, our versatile meeting places, workspaces, and studios await. Your next big idea starts here. Make our space your space. The Create Space at IKS.
Hi, my name's Logan Stankoven.
And I'm Connor Bedard.
We're both Hockey Gives Blood player ambassadors and proud to be blood donors.
There are thousands of patients each year in Canada that rely on a generous stranger to save their life.
Please book an appointment today to donate blood at blood.ca/HGB.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
You got something to say? You want to add to the show? What are you waiting for? Don't just sit there. Say something. Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Okay, everybody, the studio is McLaren Custom Grills Radio Row at the Grey Cup. And I should tell you that this is Overtime. Hello to our friends Randy and Michelle at Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary. They're also big CFL fans, so I'm sure they're enjoying our broadcast here today from Radio Row. Hockey teams and fans, have you been to Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary yet? You have. I almost killed you there.
Almost killed me.
Yet to improve your game or just have fun. With state-of-the-art equipment, spacious shooting lanes, and games for all ages, Overtime Hockey Lanes is the perfect destination to build teams, whether they're from the Calgary area or on a road trip from out of town. Book your lanes today, 28th Street Northeast, Calgary. Do you want to delve back into the text? That's always fun.
That's always fun.
Yeah.
YouTube comments are apparently on fire today as well.
Getting you in trouble.
Getting me in trouble.
Alaterra Skincare text line. Jim Young, the Hall of Fame BC Lions alum. Dirty 30, Jim Young.
Dirty 30.
He watches every day.
Wow.
Big Lions fan here, Jim.
Huge fan of Jim Young.
He says, hey, Rod, great to see you at Grey Cup. Wish I could be there, but busy with a move. Enjoy the party. Well, Jim, I was kind of hoping to see you tomorrow at the Legends Lunch. Does that tell me you're not coming? That is by far. Kevin's never been. I'm going to tell you this. As the old grizzled fart that I am, this youngster's youthful enthusiasm of being at this Grey Cup has really enlivened me. It really has. And you're going to that thing. I'm telling with me, the Legends Lunch tomorrow. I thought you'd be there, Jim. It's the greatest event at Grey Cup. The CFL Alumni Association Legends Lunch. Sold out for months. What are you expecting?
I don't know what to expect. And I said this to you before we came down, I will do my best not to be too nerdy, because I might turn into that CFL nerd tomorrow.
I honestly don't mind if you do, because I take you to a lot of places, and you're like a tourist, you know?
Yes.
And I'm taking the photos. Why not? G. Roy Simon, last night it was Vernon Adams and Mike Benavides, and that's what it should be. And the guys are always so gracious.
They are.
Right?
It's amazing. Just last night being able to talk to some of the people that you watch on TV for years and years, and we're sitting talking like you and I do, and I'm just like, wow, this is like amazing to me.
I don't know what it is. It's not just about CFL players. I mean, because I've been around sports my whole life thanks to my dad, what I can tell you is the players sit on the pot just like you and I. The players put on one, hey, Dal, put on one pant leg at a time, just like you and I. They're just people.
Just people, and they happen to play.
And if they think they're better, you don't want a picture with them.
And you know what? I haven't met one yet.
No, you won't.
It's just that they're just same as you and I, except they play a professional sport.
I know a few in the NFL, but we won't go there. We won't name names.
No.
Jim in Balgoni writes in and he says, somebody tell Fatty Arbuckle he doesn't have a chance on Sunday. Get him fired up and send the Smurf Mafia home brokenhearted. That's from Jim and Belgoni.
I just love the fact that the Smurf Mafia tag is sticking. It's just perfect. It's making my day, folks.
I wondered where this guy was. Brian in Hudson's Bay writes in and he says, the only reason Rider fans are entertaining a new quarterback is simply because of his age. Trevor Harris's age. He's 38. And how much time he has left playing at a high level. Looking more to the future than just next year. This is the year where there is quite a few decent to good quarterbacks on the market. Might not be the same next year at this time. Okay, fair. But I feel with one-year contracts, business in the CFL has changed.
Yes.
And don't think that just because they're a CFL GM that they're smarter than everybody else. I'm sitting there reading Doug McLean's book on draft day in the National Hockey League. Now, a lot of it I knew because of my dad's career as an NHL scout, but a lot of it I didn't, and I know the fans don't. It is a highly, highly, highly difficult, delicate situation to build a team. And I just think if you're a Rough Rider and you're looking 3, 4, 5 years down the line, that's not the way it's done anymore.
Well, you don't sign these players to 3 or 4 year contracts anymore. Like you say, it's 1 year contracts. You're not going to have a Trevor Harris sit on the bench. Trey Ford is not going to be sitting on the bench. It's not going to happen.
You can't play two quarterbacks at one.
Who knows?
Yeah, well, you can't play two quarterbacks at one. Only one guy can be on the field at a time.
Yes.
It's such a delicate balance. Look how, sorry to say, BC ruined their team this year. It's by having two starters.
Don't be sorry to say it. It's a fact. Jake and I have talked about it for weeks. It was handled incorrectly when Rourke got hurt in 2022. VA came in. He played. It was still Rourke's team. As soon as Rourke was healthy, they handed the ball back to Rourke. That's what should have happened to VA, and it didn't.
Well, and everybody thinks, too, they think it'd be nice to have a two-quarterback system, but in Sask, we had that with Tom Burgess and Ken Austin, won a Grey Cup. Next year, Burgie's gone to Winnipeg. The quarterbacks don't like it.
No.
Just so you know. Chad in Lethbridge writes in, he says, looking fly as usual, RP. I'm taking the underdog Argos to win by 7. Ooh. And the legend Iron Mike KOs Jake Paul in the 3rd round tomorrow night. Oh, we're betting on the fight too now? Kevin, you're going to open the show with me tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
And then we got Jim Barker live, Arash Madani live, Riley Wuchar, the chair of the Grey Cup Festival, live. It's going to be big fun. But you and I get to go have lunch and have fun and enjoy Vancouver.
Vancouver.
Great work.
You said it properly this time.
Thanks. Hey, Remo, heads up. See you tomorrow, everybody.
Da, 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 da.